Hello, my name is Jamia Stokes, and this is project number 1 in Math 32. So, today we're gonna hit sections 9.2 and 9.3. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with one of my favorite things to talk about in math. Just starting off, I'm going to start off with 9.2 homework. You can go ahead and get your stuff situated. So, these problems are a little bit more difficult to work with. Just really have to pay close attention to what is asking you and what is wanting you to do, because you can get the whole question wrong by just not paying close attention to what the question is asking you to do. So I have mine pulled up here. I'm looking at the question so I can tell you exactly what the question is going to say on the test, and so you can go home and study and plan to make the best grade possible. So this is going to be number 5, section 9.2 homework. And so the question says, determine the measures of the interior angles of this polygon. Note that the figure is not drawn to scale. So basically all it's asking you to do is find the interior angles of the polygon showed next to it. And I'm going to draw that polygon for you so we can all have a visual of what is wanting us to do. So like I was saying, these questions are a little bit more difficult, but you really just have to pay close attention and find out what is wanting you to do. Okay, so this is our polygon that we're going to be talking about today. Mine is not perfect, but it's still doable. So this is our polygon. So we have A, B, 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 A. Okay? So, and then our question, the actual question is A, 4x, B, 10x. Okay, so these are our actual numbers. These are going to be the problem that we solve for today. Very simple, starting off with at first. So your formula for this one, you need to remember a formula. It's going to be n minus 2 is set to 180. So that is automatically going to be your formula for any problem you have like this. So it's important to know this, because you're going to always have to reference back to that. You're going to always have to reference back to your formula. So it's important that you remember it because it's going to be the same thing, same concept. So to break this down, what we're going to do, very, very simple. You're going to take B here, and you're going to always start with B first. So our number B, our B is 10x. So you're going to write 10x as many times as you see B. So we see B 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that's how many times we're going to write 10x. And be sure to include your x with it, because if you don't, it's wrong. All right, so we see A 2 times. So that's the amount of number, that's how many times we're going to write 4x. All right, and once you have that all written out, you want to go ahead and you want to add all of these up together. And so once you add all of these up, you get 48x. So that is what we get by adding 10x, 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 10x plus 4x, we get 48x. All right, and then what you want to do is you want to set that automatically equal to 720. All right, and once you have that set to 720, you want to divide these two. You want to divide 48x by 720. All right. So once you divide 48 into 720, you get 15. X equals 15. All right. And then last step you want to do is, you see where we have b 10x, where we started off in the first place with b and a and 10x and 4x. You want to plug it in. So for 10, we always start with b first. For 10, it's going to be 10 times 15, and then a 4x, so it'll be 4 times 15. Okay, and then so you'll get 160 for this one, and then you'll also get 60 for this one, and those are your answers. That's your answer. So not so bad, but we're gonna do one more just to really make sure that you guys are grasping this concept, because it's kind of a lot of steps to do, and it's easy to mess up if you get thrown off, or you mess up your numbers, or you add wrong or something like that. If you add wrong, or you multiply wrong, or divide wrong, your answer is going to be wrong. So you need to make sure that you pay attention and do the arithmetic correctly, because if you mess up the arithmetic, it's over and the problem is going to be wrong. All right, let's do one more like that one, and this one is kind of the same but not necessarily. So our a is 4x, and then our b is 7x. All right, and don't always think that a can be 4x, because it can't. These are just these particular problems that I decided to do for us today. All right, so since we just went over this, what is our first step to getting with this problem? What do we do first? Yes, we go ahead and we add them all up. So it's the same way that we did it, the pentagon with the 4 B's and the 2 A's. Those are going to be the same time. Those are going to be the same each time. So 7x is going to get 4. So you're going to add 7x, 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 and then 4x and 4x. That's going to be the same format each time. You're going to do 4 of them, and then the other one is going to be 2. So once you add all of these up, you're going to get 36x automatically set to 720. Automatically going to be set to 720. All right, and once you divide these two, you get 20. X is 20. All right, and then we go about doing it how we just did it. So you always do b first, so it's going to be 7 times 20, and then 4 times 20. Okay, and then you just multiply these two. Very simple. Put in your calculator, 140, and then 80 for this one. So very simple, and this is going to be your final answer for this problem. Very simple, not too bad, right? Not too bad. And don't forget to always remember your formula. N minus 2 equals 180. Don't forget to memorize your formula. That is very, very important. If you can't remember this, you won't be able to do this. If you can't remember this, you won't be able to do all of this. So just remember that it's very important to remember your formulas. All right, moving along. That's all that we have for section 9.2. The next section is going to be the next set of problems. Oh, wait, we have one more problem for 9.2. Sorry. One more problem. And then we're going to move on to 9.3, which is basically just talking about shapes. Very simple. So this problem, I already have the question already up for us. So how many different regions is in the plane are determined by the figure? So it's basically just wanting us to find out how many different kinds of spaces are there. And I'm going to try my best to draw this figure. It's not going to be the prettiest, but I will try for y'all, because I know that y'all want a visual, and I do too. So I will try. Okay, so this is the best that I can do, and I know this looks horrible, but this is the best that I can do. So we're gonna go ahead and put numbers in these spaces. So you have 1, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you have 6 spaces, correct? You do. Okay, that is not the correct answer. However, you have one more space that you did not number, and if you put 6, that's not right, and you're gonna get it wrong. You have to count the outside of the outside of the plane, because it is also considered a plane in this problem. So if you were to put the number 6, which, you know, technically you are correct, because there are only 6 spaces available in this plane that we have numbered together, but that is not the correct answer. That's not the correct arithmetic, because they want you to label the outside of the plane, because this is all one. You have to include the whole thing in this. If you don't, then it's wrong. So the correct answer for this, because we numbered it together, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have the whole thing, which makes it 7. So the correct answer for this one would be 7. Okay. All right, now moving on to 9.3 homework. All right, 9.3 is basically just a sum of different shapes and different shapes and different kind of polygons that they just want us to name and figure out what is it. They're asking us to give us a picture of a graph or a shape, and they just want us to name it and tell them what is it called. So what is this? So I'm going to draw the first one. I'm going to draw all of them, but the first one that we have is fairly simple and should be pretty known. Should be known. So this would be a great time for you to be taking notes on this also, because this will be a big part of your test, just naming different shapes. So the question says, draw a freehand of pictures in the figures that follow using the dashed line to indicate the hidden edges. Basically short-term words for what are the hidden objects. So they give us the names. They just want us to pick out the picture. So I give you the name, and the name is a cube, and this is a cube. This is considered to be a cube. So that's a pretty easy one. That's starting off pretty easy, but the rest of them are not so easy. All right, and I'm gonna do them how they did me. So the next one is kind of looks like an envelope to me, if that is an easy way to remember it. It looks kind of similar to an envelope, and I won't be able to draw exactly how they drew it, but it looks like an envelope, right? This is called a tetragon, and that's pretty hard to say. Tetragon is an easy way to remember this one. It is similar, kind of looking like an envelope. So if that can get you to get it right on your test, it looks like an envelope. All right, the next one that we have is a square pyramid, and a square pyramid is basically what it sounds like. It is a square pyramid, and kind of different, confusing, because they give you other pictures of other pyramids, so you have to be sure which one is yours. So this is how theirs looks a little bit. So pyramid, and make sure at the bottom it has a square. Okay, that's how mine's looking. So this one is a square pyramid. And an easy way to remember this one is it looks like a cone. It has a cone shaped top, a very strong top up there. So that is another way to remember it. And if it also is an option, the bottom part has a square on it. So that is another way to remember it by, is because it has a square at the bottom. And that's why it's called a square pyramid. All right, and the next one that we have a pentagonal right prism. Okay, pentagonal right prism. That is a lot to say. Okay. And my drawings are so horrible. I am so embarrassed to even show this, but I cannot draw this. A pentagonal right prism is what this is considered to be. And an easy way to remember this one is it has a pentagon shaped at the top of the part, which I cannot be able to draw. It has a pentagon at the top of the picture. It has a pentagon at the very top of it, so that is considered a pentagonal right prism, and that is an easy way to remember it because it is basically in the name. A lot of these the names are in it, so you know all you have to do is identify the different shapes, and you'll be able to pick out the right answers as long as you memorize your shapes and you know your shapes. Okay, so the last one that we have is an oblique hexagonal prism, and this one is basically really simple to remember too. All you have to do is remember that it has a oblique hexagonal prism. So just remember that and you should be fine. All right, and there you go. So this is considered an oblique hexagonal prism because it is shaped as an hexagon. All right, and that is all I have for us today for our first project. Starting off very simple, just talking about shapes and different kinds of formulas and different type of hexagons and prisms and pentagons and all of these other shapes that we have talked about today. So let's do a recap. First, we talked about section 9.2, and we just talked a little bit about 4x and 10x, and when you have 6 sides interior, you just want to add them all up, divide it by itself, multiply the number you divided by a and b, and those are your answers. And then we also talked a little bit about shapes and how many different type of numbers are in the plane. Very simple. You have the plane, you have the outside of the plane. You also include the numbers inside of the plane with the number outside, and that is going to be your answer. And then we just talked about our different kind of shapes and how to identify them and what are good ways to remember them by if you do see them again. So I'm glad that we have finished up our first project, and I hope to see you guys very soon, and have a great day. Bye.